Okay, real quickly, before we get on with the show, we have to mention that we've been watching the news this morning of the 6-alarm fire in Dallas off of Abrams, and we're hearing that they have just pulled the body of a Dallas firefighter from the rubble after that building collapsed. Our thoughts and prayers are with everyone on the scene and their families. A horrible situation there, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is terrible. And it's a condominium, but there must be a series of condominiums in that, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So it's a 6-alarm fire. That's huge. That is huge.
I can't remember the last time there was a 6-alarm fire anywhere around Dallas.
And that firefighter, I think, was missing since this morning before I came to work.
And
that's just terrible.
Unfortunately.
Wow.
Those guys are so great.
Oh, what they do.
Oh. It is.
Such a hard job, especially the volunteers. The volunteer firefighters that get the call to go out. And anyway, our thoughts with them this morning. And
yes, of course. Well, you guys, after last week's devastating tornadoes and the threat for more that might be happening this week, we wanted to talk storm safety and early detection. Mark Fox from the National Weather Service in Fort Worth joins us now with more on that. Hi, Mark. How are you?
Doing well. How about yourselves?
We are doing good.
Yeah.
Now, we had some tornadoes here, obviously, last week, and they're already detecting that some might be happening this week. So you were here just to kind of help us figure out, like, how can we prepare for this better, and what do we need to take seriously? What do we not need to take seriously? Like, I feel like some people maybe freak out too early, but are we just being naive?
Well, let's be honest. When you first hear severe thunderstorm warning, you hear the beep, beep, beeps on the TV, you think, oh, here we go again. But in reality...
Yeah, because in Texas, that's not rare that happens, especially this time of year.
In Dallas County and in Tarrant County, you're going to be under an average of 20 severe thunderstorms warnings every year. So it does happen quite a bit. You're also going to be under the average of about 5 tornado warnings every year. But in reality, that's about 2 hours a year we're asking you to do something different with your life.
Okay.
It's really not that much. And unfortunately, Dallas, Fort Worth, this metroplex is the largest area in Tornado Alley of population. So it's something we do have to live with. Tornadoes happen. Unfortunately, they're going to continue to happen. We just have to learn how to deal with them.
so, Mark, what do we look for in the weather? When we are looking out our window, we're standing in the front yard, and you see the clouds. And is there a certain type of weather warning that we would be able to see with our eyes rather than what you see with all your equipment? Yeah,
one thing that you're looking for is, I kind of joke around a little bit about it, but it's really the same. You look for the most athletic storm out there.
Define athletic.
Well, let me put it this way. If you put me and Ray Lewis right next to each other on this couch, you would tell just by looking that one of us is a professional athlete,
all right,
and I'm not.
Just deep black, is that a sign? Deep black
Are they
or lots of
aggressive?
clouds?
What do you mean by athletic?
Athletic, I mean, if you look like it, if you look very muscular, it looks very strong, it looks healthy, and one of the things you're really looking for is a green tint.
Green.
That's what,
That green tint. In fact, that usually means you've got ice within the storm out there, and that means you've got big hail. And once you've got big hail, that can lead to things that are worse.
If you're on the road, if you're on the highway, I always thought you need to get under an underpass, but that's not true, is it?
That's really not the best place to be because, number one, you're kind of limiting yourself. Everything's going to be funneling through there. Same principle that allows airplanes to fly. Everything's just going to go faster through that narrow opening. And unfortunately, you're putting yourself within that target area.
So then if we're driving, where should we go?
The first thing you need to do is just make sure you're aware. I mean, if there's possibility of a tornado out there, just make sure you know before you're driving out there. You see it out here, you start driving that way.
So just drive away from it?
Drive away from it at right angles.
Okay, now you mentioned
But what if there's not a road that goes that way? You just off-road it?
Off-road it, do what you can, but definitely stop if it's out there, and if you notice it's coming towards you, actually get out of that car.
And you're supposed to go into a ditch if you can, aren't you?
Into a ditch if you can, just as low as you can, cover up your head, because it's not necessarily the wind speeds that are going to be the problem. It's all the gunk flying around within those wind speeds, and that's going to be the problem.
Now, you mentioned you're wanting us for 2 hours to take this seriously. So we hear the tornado sirens, we hear the tornado warning. What is the first thing everybody should do?
Well, let me address one thing.
And we're showing currently some video.
Yeah, that's a tornado last night up in Shawnee, Oklahoma.
That is just beyond. I cannot even.
That is right out of.
So what should those people be doing when they see that in the distance?
In the distance, people should be getting inside. And this is a storm chaser. This is a meteorologist from the University of Oklahoma that's taking this for research purposes and to try to learn a little bit more about them. But anytime you've got that potential for tornadoes out there and you think you're in danger, then you just make sure you get indoors.
Do you open your windows?
Don't worry about that. If that tornado gets close enough, it's going to do the opening for you.
You tell us to get on in the lowest part of your home, and we saw that just in the tornado in Granbury and the one in Cleburne that you definitely are more protected if you're on the lower level. But what if you have a one-story home and there is no like lower level?
Is that way that we always get in the bathtub with the mattress on top of us?
Kind of depends on where the bathroom is. If it's on the wall, not a great place to be.
So nothing that's in an outside wall. So like in a closet might be a good idea. That's like in the middle of the house.
That's our family's best place to be, because the bathroom's on the outside wall. There's a walk-in closet that we can get everybody in. So it's one of those things we've already identified long before these storms are on the radar.
Okay, like for example, when the big tornado hit last weekend, I was at a hotel at an event and they took everybody to the basement. I also live in a high-rise apartment complex. Where's the safest people for people that are in condos or apartments? In the parking structure, like underneath the building?
Underneath the building would be best, for sure. If you are still caught inside.
That's terrifying to me, but I guess I'll trust you, Mark.
Well, it happened in Fort Worth, March 28, 2000. A lot of people saved their lives by getting in the stairwells. That's usually in the middle part of the building. A lot of walls between you and the outside, and that's really the general rule. Put as many walls between you and the outside as you can.
You're walking down the street and you see a tunnel and you start running, but you don't know where to run, or you're out in the rural and you can't get anywhere. You can't get in a building. You can't get in a ditch. What do? Do you grab a tree, lock your arms, and what do you do when there is no place to run?
Yeah, lie down. Basically just lie as flat as you can to the ground and cover up your head, because most of the activity and pray. That would be a very good idea. Most everything is going to be kind of flying around up here, and if you're down close to the ground, you're just minimizing your chances. But praying would probably be the best
Jesus,
thing
take
to do.
the wheel.
Isn't it funny when there's danger, everybody goes to their knees? Really, if it's the last resort.
One reason or another.
And somebody said one time, look, you spend so much time on your knees, why don't you just stay there anyway?
Well, Mark, thank you for these great tips. You guys, for forecasts, outlooks, and more, Susie Humphreys. Check out the National the National Weather Service online at weather.gov.
Did you miss me?
So much.